Hello, and welcome to another one of my favorite spots in the world. This is the roof of my building. I haven't come up here in a while, especially not during the day, but I wanted to come up here and I want to talk about breakups, because I've been thinking about those recently. Usually when I'm looking at a breakup, I tend to think in regards of black and white. Some person is in the wrong and the other person is in the right, and that's not real. I think in very rare cases is that true. I think most of the time it is a big, messy gray area that's terrible and awful, and the worst thing about a relationship is, of course, when the relationship ends. It's really easy, and this is something that I've experienced with breakups in my own personal life, it's really easy to turn somebody, the person that you were with, into the bad guy and to hate them for a while, and sometimes you gotta do that. But most of the time that kind of blinds you from what actually happened. Sad thing about relationships is that a vast majority of them do not work out, and very few actually make it the distance, if you want to call like forever the distance. But I think it's important to remember that just because something isn't forever doesn't mean it wasn't good. You know, because at some point you were into this person enough to say, hey, I'd like to try to be with you. And you shouldn't forget that. Of course, yeah, people sometimes are just flat out awful and you gotta get out of there, and that's fine, that's real, that happens. But there are two sides to every story. And that is true. That is a real thing. Now is the part of the video where I kind of talk about sad stuff. So, brace for impact. It's a beautiful day though, right? Something that is very sad to me, but it's real, is that people are allowed to leave you. They're allowed to leave you. Sometimes a relationship just isn't right, and two people being together is toxic and draining and exhausting and just so many negative things. And if you're in a situation where you're not getting what you need or want out of a relationship, you are allowed to leave that and try and look for it elsewhere. And the thing that's really hard to reconcile while you're in it, or you're the one who's being left, is that doesn't make the person that left you a terrible person. Of course, it hurts when people leave you, when they break up with you and stuff, but people break up with people. It just happens. Sometimes two good people just aren't right for each other, and for their own sake, their own health, they have to split up. Sometimes that's just how things work, and it's better off that way. I'm trying really hard in my life to stop looking at things as black and white, right and wrong, this or that, because the world doesn't work in binary like that. So here's my generalized breakup advice. Sometimes somebody is a terrible, awful person, in which case, go ahead and just cut them out of your life. You're allowed to do that. But most breakups are not like that. There's a lot of gray area, and things happen, and you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. I advocate separation. I advocate channeling all that energy into your own life and building yourself back up, but I also advocate trying to avoid hating the other person in the relationship. Life is far too short, in my opinion, to be holding grudges all the time, and when you're carrying all this baggage around and all this anger and hatred from past relationships, it bleeds over into your new ones and into your new friendships and into your whole life, and I don't really want that. I think allowing your experience to become part of your context is cool and important, but letting your past kind of define your future, I don't think that's fair to yourself. So those are some breakup thoughts on a roof. If you guys have any thoughts you would like to share, you can always leave them in the comments down below. I'm gonna get off of here, and I love you a lot, and I will see you next time on Friday. Phew.